Hello friends, I want to take you this sample login, Modal Login. I use SQL Server as back-end, Visual Studio 2013 as front-end, ASP.NET MVC C#, and this is Bootstrap. Let's get started. These are the steps we are going to follow. For the back-end, SQL Server 2012, create user table. You may use SQL Server 2005 or 2008. We'll create a table and a login store procedure, and for the front end we are going to create a class library, the user controller, and a view. Let's get started. I go here to my modal login. There's no table. I'm now here to create a table. Let's create a user table. This as primary and auto generated. We'll name this our user table. Okay, let's feed in some data. Abdul, admin, paste. Okay, the next thing we are going to do is to create a store procedure. Let me create a new query. Create proc USP login. We'll take the username as parameter and the password as parameter. We are going to select the user ID whose username and password have been supplied. So user ID from user where username is equal to the supplied username and password is equal to the supplied password. Drag and drop the user table here. Okay, we've created our store procedure. Sorry, this should be password. Alter. So we created our store procedure which expects a username and password. Let's try it and see. First, I have a user name Abdel and Abdel. Let me give Abdel and then password Abdel. Good. It returns the user ID whose username and password have been supplied. Now let me try and put a wrong password and execute. Then I get nothing. Good. So we've created our table, which is a user table, and our store procedure, the login store procedure. The next thing we need to do is to create our project. Create a new project. ASP MVC is a web project, ASP web application. I'll give it Modal Login. MVC, click OK. While waiting for our project to get ready, this is what we are going to get. When you click here, it asks you to fill it. We have username. If I type in admin, a wrong username and password, I get this. If it's the supplied data are correct, then you get logged in. So let's see if our application is ready. We get here. Good. So we have our application ready. I want to create a project. I want to add a new project, which will be a class library. So add new project. Visual C# class library. Modal Login.bl business logic. I'll click OK. Good. I have a default class here, which is class 1. I'll rename it to user. Say yes. I'll create the user ID, get, set. One for the username and the other one for the password. Sorry, username. It really doesn't matter the sequence, but password. Okay. I want to make this required for. Let me see if I can resolve this. I can. So have to add a reference to system dot data system dot copy model data annotation. I click OK, then I can right click and resolve it. Good. This is the first class I'm going to create. The second one will be for the business logic. So user business logic. My connection string. First, I need to make sure I have my connection string in the web.config. To speed it up, I should have it here. I can even alter this, but let me just comment it and put this one here. This is dot SQL Express. The database is Modal Login. Okay, so my connection string is ready. The name is DB connection. I can now go here. String connection string is equal to configuration manager, which comes from system.configuration. System.configuration. Okay, so I can right click this and resolve dot connection string. Then I'll pass my connection string name, which is here, DB connection, to this dot connection string. Now public int check user login. Okay, this is the function that's going, or method that's going to check the user login. We are going to pass the user object. So using SQL connection object is equal to new SQL connection, and pass the connection string to the connection. Here I have to resolve it. Then I'll create an SQL command object. Command object is equal to new SQL command, and pass in the store procedure which I created here, USB login, and the connection object. Good. Down here, my command object dot command type is going to be equal to command type dot store procedure. This should come from system.data. Okay, store procedure. And then I need to pass my parameters to this dot parameters dot add is equal to new SQL parameter. Pass in the first parameter, which is username. Let me copy it from here. And this is going to be my user object dot username. No. Let me copy this and paste it here for the password. User dot password. Go down here, open the connection object, and return the command object dot execute scalar. Let me convert it to integer. Integer 32. Okay, so wrap it here. Good. So this method here is taking the user object as parameter, getting the connection string, pass it to the connection object, call the user USB login, pass the parameters, open the connection, and returning the value. So whatever value this returns here will be returned by the function or the method in the user business logic. Okay, let's build our business logic class. See if we have any error or not. Okay, done successfully. Good. We need to reference this modal login.bl in our project here. So I'll go here, add reference, go to solution, is part of my solution, select modal login.bl and click OK. So we have it referenced here. Good. Now we are going to create our controller, new controller. I want to make it empty controller. I will name it login. Good. I want to change this one to login. I want to reference my business logic class. So here is equal to this. Let me resolve it. Right click, resolve. It should reference my modal login.bl. User bl is equal to new user business logic. Okay, good. Now we are going to create another method, another action result. Login. This should be HTTP post. Good. And this will take the user object. Okay, I'll create a message, a string variable that will return my message to the Ajax method or function. So first of all, we need to check the modal state. If it is valid. If it is valid, then we do our checking. Else, our message will be equal to all fields are required. Most of the time it's not valid when fields that are required contain now. So all fields are required, which means that we are forcing the user to fill in the data. So here I'm now going to check if my user bl dot this function here method. It takes user if it is greater than 0. If it's greater than 0, it means that there's a user ID whose username and password contain this. So here, string message, if modal state is valid, then this user bl.check user login, pass in the user object and check if it is greater than 0. The store procedure is going to return something greater than 0 if the username and password are correct. So here, I will now say message is equal to success. Else, if it returns 0 or less than 0, then probably the username and password are not correct, or username or password is incorrect. Good. Now we are going to check our request. If request dot is Ajax request, then return JSON. My message should go first, and then this JSON request behavior dot allow get. Else, if the request is not Ajax, then return redirect to action index, sorry, comma home. Good. So we are ready with this. Now let me create my view. Add view. I will leave it as it is. Good. I'm going to create a Bootstrap modal form or window, and I have to speed it up. I have the window already here. You can get this window from Bootstrap site or any other site. Here, this is it. They give me a modal header form group where I have my username label and the text, another form group where I have my password and the password text box, and the footer where I have my button. Okay, and here I give my modal a width, and here this one is used from this side just to push the button. Okay, this is my script, and in my script I just use jQuery to call the modal and backdrop static. Let me just comment this one so that I can show you what it is. But for now, we can run this. First, let me make sure this is the default. So here I'm going to say user and login. This is what we have here, login. Okay, so this is going to be called. And the other thing is I need to make sure I reference the Bootstrap in my layout CHTML. So I'll go here, get down here, go to content, Bootstrap CS, Bootstrap mini CS. Next, the script, Bootstrap JS, Bootstrap mini JS, and jQuery up here. Good. So now I can run and see what it looks like. Debug, start without debugging. Good. So we have our login form almost ready. When I click here, nothing happens because we've not written the method or the function yet. So this is the username, the password, and this is the button. Okay, so I'll now go back here. I wanted to show you this. When I go here and click, it goes off, which is wrong. So what I have to do is to backdrop static, save, run again. When I click, it should be there. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is to write function for our login button. So here I'm going to put my $sign, dot click, the click event function. So now we have function for the login. We are going to create the data object. Username should be equal to my $sign, the value in the username field, this one in the username field. So the username field ID is username. So username dot var, comma. So I'll copy this and paste it here. Password will come from the password field as well. The ID is password. Okay, so this is done. Now Ajax. First the URL, comma, URL dot action. What is my action? Is login in the user controller. So login, comma, user control. The type, post. My data will be equal to my data object. I could have just come to put this one here directly without a semicolon, of course. Put it here, but it's okay. Data object, data type, JSON. If it is success, result, if the result dot to string is equal to success, what is here? If it is success, it means that it's gone through successfully. Username and password are correct. So the modal should be hidden. First, let me just say alert. Give me the message here. Else, if it's not successful, the same alert result. Now, in case there's an error, tell me error. Okay, so let's try our login, see what happens. Here I click here, all fields are required. Correct. Good. Second, I'm going to put in wrong username, a correct username and wrong password. Username or password is incorrect. Now let me put in the right password. Good, success. Okay, now when it is successful, we don't want this message. We want the login, the modal login window to go off. So I'll copy this, come and put it here, so here we'll say hide. Let's just test that one before we move on. Okay, so right username, correct password, it goes off. Fantastic. Good. So now we come back here. If it is not successful, you give us a message that it is not successful. What I want to do is to create another div here which will display the message to the user. So here it will be div, let me just create a div, id is equal to messenger. Good. Then I'll come down here, come down here and work on that. So when I get here, I will now reference my div messenger.html div, create a class and call it failed, close my div here, plus the result. So the result will get displayed in this class, the failed class, in the failed class, which will be in the div. So here we are going to close the div. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. So let's try it and see. Yeah, good. So it's being displayed here now. All fields are required. Okay, the same thing should be here. But at this level, I'm just going to write the error. Please try again. Okay, and I want, if the username and password are incorrect, to be cleared. So I'll put the username here, clear it. The same thing for password. Clear it. And then I want the username to be focused. Okay. The same thing should come here if the username and password are wrong. So let's try it. If there's an error, let's try it. Admin, wrong password. This username or password is incorrect, and replace it and put the focus on username. Okay, Now my failed message, I want to work on it a little bit so as to make it like this and put our icon here. Let me first work on the icon. It should be before the messenger. So I'm going to have a span. Then I'll drag and drop the icon onto it. Do I have an icon somewhere? Let me see if I have an icon. So I have an icon here. I will now go to my project. Let me just reduce it a little bit so that I can drag the icon into my content folder. You can drag it wherever you want, so long as you're able to get a path right. So this is my icon here. So within my span, I'll just drag it. So let me run and see if my icon is coming. Close this there. Good. I have my icon somewhere here. We need to work on it for us to be able to center it here. Good, and my message is coming just right underneath it. Okay. Now I want to go to my star and do a little bit of work. Now my class name in the script is called field. So here I'll come down and put field here. I want the text align to be center. I want the font weight to be bold. I want the font family Times New Roman, comma, times the color should be white and the background color to be white. Okay, let me try my field and see. Okay, so all fields are required. Now I want to center my icon. I need to give it a name. The span, maybe here. I'll name it, let's see, class. I'll call it my icon. Okay, so that I can go down here, say my icon. So we want to center the icon nicely on our Modal Login window. So the display we block, margin left is auto, margin right is auto. I think it should work now. Good. So we have our login icon somewhere here. You can get a different image. This is just an image I picked from somewhere just to make it a little bit nicer. I think everything is ready now. Let's click without filling it. All fields are required. Let's put in a wrong username and password. Wrong username or password. Username or password is incorrect. Now let me put in the right username and password. Now off we go. I hope you guys enjoy it. This is just something I came out with just to share it with you. Anyone can contact me from, this is my email, and my number is 233-244-405003. Greetings from Accra, Ghana. Thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoy it. Have a good day.